Yes, sir.
It
What
is
else? Is it
okay, sir.
getting okay or just a minute? I will check
Okay,
on
sir.
my laptop. Okay, it's okay now. Yes, yeah.
It is okay, sir.
Okay. So last time we already discussed about the first characteristic of N-channel E MOSFET, and that was the transfer characteristic, right? Already I defined what is meant by the transfer characteristic. It is the characteristic in between controlling and control parameters of the device. Then output characteristic also we define in general, that is the characteristic in between output voltage and output current by keeping input constant, right? And one more was there, but it is not applicable to our MOSFET. That is the input characteristic, is the characteristic in between input voltage and input current by keeping output voltage constant. But this is not applicable to our FET or FET family or over here for this N-channel E MOSFET, because the input current always remains zero because of that SiO2 layer, right? So we'll switch to the another characteristic, second one, that is output, or it is also known as a drain characteristic. Note it properly. The output characteristic of MOSFET, it is also known as a drain characteristic. That's why I written here both words, that is output oblique drain characteristic, right? So already we defined the meaning of this output characteristic. It will be in between output voltage and output current by keeping input constant. This is the generalized definition, but particularly for this device now, that is for MOSFET, what input you will keep constant, and that is the voltage, because it is a voltage control device, right? So first of all, we'll we'll take that example also. We'll keep that VGS equals to 0 volt as a constant, right? This one will keep as a constant, and we're going to vary the output voltage. Yes. Okay. I will try my max. Don't worry. Right. Okay. So see, we'll keep the input constant. First of all, that input is nothing but, in this case, that is VGS. So I will keep that VGS as a constant, as a 0 volt, for example. And by varying the output voltage, what is output voltage? That is the voltage applied to the drain with respect to source. By varying the voltage across drain to source, I will go on to check what is the effect on that output current, that is drain current, that is ID. Okay. So I will prepare that first column, that is for VGS equals to 0, and by varying VDS in volt, I will go on to note down the value of drain current, that is ID in milliampere, right? Is it visible? Still getting blurred.
Sir, it's visible.
Okay. So see, whenever we will change this VDS, first of all, we're going to change this VDS from 0 volts to onward, right? This is my first reading. Are you getting what I considered? First of all, I kept this VGS by this VGG as a 0 volt, and that I will be able to keep it constant as a 0. And what I will do, I will be able to change this VDD. That means the voltage applied to the drain, drain to source. That we will be able to change, and we'll be able to note down what is the effect on ID. So whenever this VDS will be 0, ID will be 0, because for drain current, source is drain to source voltage. Is it? For drain current ID, what is the source? That is the voltage applied to the drain with respect to source. That is by this VDD. And that's why whenever that source itself will be at 0 potential, that means current due to that source, it will remain 0. That is my first reading. Okay. Now, suppose we apply this VDS, for example, 1 volt. What do you think? What will be the effect on ID? Can anybody answer? If instead of this VDD to 0, if I increase it to 1 volt, but our input is constant, don't change that input, because we have to plot the output characteristic. That means by changing the output voltage, we have to observe the effect on output current. That's why what we are doing, we are changing this VDS from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, and we'll be able to observe the effect on this ID. So what do you think? ID will get increased, will remain 0. Just try it.
0.
Yes, it will remain zero. Why it will remain zero? Because our input is at zero potential. That's why there is no formation of any channel between drain to source. So whatever may be the VDD, there is no channel for the flow of current between drain to source, and that's why that current it will going on to remain as zero. Agree? Are you agree with this? Whatever may be the value of this VDS, like 2 volt, 3 volt, 4 volt, 5 volt, etc. That current will going on to remain, that ID will going on to remain as 0 milliampere, right? Now, the second case we'll consider if I kept this VGS equals to VT. What is VT? That is the threshold voltage at which a very thin channel, it will get induced between drain to source. That accumulated charge carrier will remain at the edge of this SiO2. So this much is the channel width formed by negative charge carriers between drain and source. As drain and source both are of N type, there will be a flow of current through that channel. Agree with this? Okay, here we will take one example so that it will be somewhat easy to you for the understanding purpose. I think last time I given one suggestion, take the snapshot, right? When VGS equals to VT, I consider the number of accumulated charge carriers. How much was that accumulated charge carrier? I think that VT, how much we consider? As for that example, I think it was 3 volt, right now? Yes or no? Just check at your end. This is not
Yes,
the,
sir.
this is not the standard values. Remember, these values will be going to change according to the device taken. And when last time we consider that in our example VGS at 3 volts, but practically what we observed, practically for 2N7000 for this transistor, this VT was how much? It was only 0.9 volt. Yes or no? Practically we observe for that 2N7000 transistor. But here for understanding purpose, what we will do, we will consider for a particular N-channel E MOSFET that threshold voltage is of 3 volt. Right? So it is not standard value, remember. Transistor to transistor, these VTs are different. It is given by the manufacturer. Okay. So for understanding purpose, we will take somewhat more value for that transistor as its threshold voltage. So I will consider the threshold voltage of that particular transistor is of 3 volt. And for your understanding purpose, I think we consider how much accumulated charge carriers? Charge carriers, I think it was 50. Just check. VGS
Yes,
equals
sir.
to 3 volt. Accumulated that minority charge carriers at the edge of this SiO2, which will go on to form a very thin channel. That number of charge carriers we consider as a 50 last time. The same we will consider here. Okay. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. So see,
Yes, sir.
now we'll keep this VGS equals to VT as a constant. We will not going on to change it. You can consider it as a 3 volt also, right? What will happen? There will be a formation of very thin channel between drain and source. We'll keep that VGS equals to VT as a constant again, and we'll go on to vary this VDD. That means the voltage applied to the drain with respect to source, and we'll go on to observe what is the effect on current flowing. First of all, when VDS will be non-zero, ID will be non-zero. Are you agree with this? In this case, when VGS equals to VT, when this VDS will be non-zero, ID will be non-zero. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Because
sir.
there is already that thin channel is already formed between drain and source by VGS equals to VT, right? Okay. Now, whenever that, even if that channel is available, but the applied voltage for the flow of current or the source of that ID, if it is at zero, current will be zero. And that's why first reading we will take again when VDS equals to zero, ID will remain zero. Now, if that VDS equals to 0.5 volts, by this 0.5 volt, Here we will consider plus 0.5 volt is applied to the drain with respect to source. By that 0.5 volt, out of these 50 number of charge carriers, here we will consider only 20 charge carriers will start to migrate. Is it? What is mean by current? Current is nothing but flow of charge carrier, right? What is mean by amount of current? Amount of current is nothing but what? The number of flow of charge carriers. Is it? And when that number of flow of charge carriers increases, when the applied voltage across that charge carrier gets increased, more and more voltage, that means more and more number of flow of charge carriers. So at this stage, what we will consider, if VDS applied is of just 0.5 volt, by that 0.5 volt, out of these accumulated 50 number of charge carriers, it is already there, but out of that 50, what will happen? Only 20 will start to migrate. Are you agree? Because the applied voltage across that channel is very, very small, only 0.5 volt. And by that 0.5 volt, it is capable to force only 20 number of charge carriers. And by that, whatever current will flow, here I will just take one example as a 1 milliampere. Okay, don't correlate it with our previous example. This is only for your understanding purpose, right? By this 0.5 volt, current flow will be of, suppose, 1 milli, right? Now, again, that VDS equals to VT is constant. What I will do, I will just apply that VDS equals to, for example, if it is of 1 volt now. Okay. By this 1 volt, here, in this case, we'll consider all these 50 number of charge carriers will start to migrate between the drain to source like this. And by that, what will happen? This current, it will get increased to, suppose, 5 milliampere. Right. Now next, if I increase this VDD beyond 1 volt, for example, if it is of 1.5, okay, what will be the effect on flow of number of charge carriers? Will remain 50, will get decreased below 50, or will get increased above 50? What do you think? We are increasing the applied voltage between drain to source, right now, from 1 volt to 1.5 volt. In previous case, what we considered, when that applied voltage was 1 volt, all that accumulated charge carrier, that is 50, will start to migrate. And by that, whatever current will be there, that current we consider it as a 5 milliamperes. Okay. Yes or no? Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, from 1 volt drain to source voltage, what I will do, I will switch to 1.5. I will again increase it. My question is, what will be the effect on ID? Will remain same?
Same, sir. Same.
Yes.
Yes.
Because already that whatever accumulated charge carriers was there, that is 50, all are started to migrate just by applying VDS equals to 1 volt. And by that, whatever current will get constituted, that current was 5 milliampere, right? So even if this VDS is increased, that channel is not capable to handle more number of charge carriers to flow through it. It will be going to allow only the flow of how much charge carrier? That is 50. That is the capacity of that channel, right? So this current, even if the applied voltage is 2, this current will remain 5 milli. Even if it is of 2.5, current will remain 5 milliamperes. Are you agree with this?
Yes,
or
sir.
no? Okay. So parallelly, we will try to plot whatever we discuss. Is it? So as we have to plot the output characteristic, that means it will be in between output voltage and output current by keeping input voltage constant. And whatever the current will go on to flow, that will be dependent on the applied voltage. And that's why on x-axis, in this case, I will take VDS in volt. We have to plot it in between VDS and ID, right now. So on y-axis, I will take drain current. Is it? First of all, for first condition, that is when VGS was equals to 0 volt, that curve, it will be on x-axis as it is. like this. Is it? So this is nothing but what? Constant VGS equals to 0 volt or less than or equals to, we can say, VT. It may be 0, right? Are you getting it? That first curve I plotted directly on x-axis because ID will remain 0 if the applied input voltage, that is VGS, that is controlling voltage, which is kept constant either at 0 volt or somewhat less than VT, right? Then second condition we considered, that is constant, VGS equals to VT as a constant. We're going to keep it as a constant, right? And by increasing VDS from 0 to onward, what we observe, initially there is change in current. Current increases slightly, but later on it remains constant. So what I will do, I will just go on to plot this curve like this. Okay, and this is nothing but this constant current, that is 5 milliamperes. This point, is it visible to all? This point is nothing but 0.5 volts. This is nothing but 0. And this point, I'll just show it like this. Is it visible to all? 0.5. And at 1 volt, that current reaches to, this is nothing but 1, at which that current, it reaches to 5 milliampere, and later on it remains constant. So this second curve, this is for what? VGS equals to VT. See, for first two conditions, whatever we discussed, we plotted two curves. One curve is directly on x-axis, that is when VGS is less than or equals, not equals to VT, less than VT. Don't say equals to here. That VGS is less than VT, that may be 0 or somewhat less than VT, then that ID will remain 0. Whatever may be the value of this VDS. Is it? Because that channel is not formed. And that's why there is no flow of current through this device. Is it okay up to over here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, third case, I will take VGS somewhat greater than VT. Right. Slightly greater than VT. If VT is considered as a 3 volt, again, in this case, we'll consider VGS equals to 4 volt. That is somewhat or slightly greater than VT. And keep it constant again. VGS greater than VT and keep it constant. Again, vary the output voltage from 0 to onward and note down the change in output current. I will keep this first three readings almost same. That is when VDS is 0, current will be 0. Then VDS is 0.5. Now it will be 1 milliampere. Okay. Before going to that, if VGS is greater than VT, what will be the effect on accumulated charge carrier? Will remain 50 as per our consideration, or will get increased, or will get decreased? What do you think? First, I increase VGS from second condition. Second condition was what? VGS equals to VT. Now I will go on to increase it slightly. Suppose 4 volt, if VT is considered as 3. So if I applied input, that is VGS equals to 4 volt, that is slightly greater than VT. My question is, what will be the effect on this accumulated charge carrier? And it is already with you. That number of charge carriers, I think we consider as 150.
They'll increase.
That accumulated charge carriers will get increased, right now. But as per our previous consideration, how much we considered? That screenshot is with you. 150, right. So here, I will try to show it like this. Suppose these are 150 number of charge carriers. By the application of what? VGS slightly greater than VT or greater than VT as a 4 volt, right? Keep it constant. That VGS greater than VT, again keep it constant and vary this VDD from 0 to onward. When it will be 0, again current will remain 0 because for this current, what is the main source? Main source is VDD. When it will be 0, no current will be going to flow, right? When it will be 0.5, this VDS by this VDD. When it will be 0.5, out of that 150, again, we'll consider, I think we consider 20 number of charge carriers. Na? Out of that 150 now, by the application of 0.5, 20 number of charge carriers will start to flow. And by that, there will be a current, by that 20 number of charge carriers, current at 1 milli. When I applied that VDS as 1 volt, suppose 50 number of charge carriers start to move. Okay? Already how much are there now? Total are 150. Out of that 150, 50 will start to move, and by that the current will be equals to 5 milliamperes. Agree? If I applied this one as 1.5 volt, okay, by this 1.5 volt, out of that 150, suppose 100 number of charge carriers start to flow. What will be the effect on current by that 100 number of charge carriers? Will it be greater than 5 milli or will remain 5 milli?
Greater than 5.
Greater than
Yes,
5 milli.
it will be greater than 5, yes. Here we will consider that current is, for example, 8 milliamperes, right? Now, I will apply that voltage as 2 volts, VDS, by this VDD. I will increase from 1.5 to 2. By that, in this case, we'll consider 150 number of charge carriers will start to move. Okay, and because of that, whatever current will flow, here I will consider that current, suppose it is of 15 milliamperes, right? Now again the same question. If I applied that VDS, if I increase it to 2.5, what will be the effect on ID? ID will remain at 15 milli, will get increased above 15 milli. What do you think? Will get increased?
Remain same, sir.
Yes, it will remain same because by this 2 volt VDS, already I considered that 150 number of charge carriers will start to move. And what is the density of that channel? It is already 150 number of charge carriers. So beyond that, it will not going on to allow the flow of current to rise, right? So this current, it will going on to remain at 15 milli, even if I increase the applied voltage across drain to source. It will going on to remain at 15 milli, is it? Again, I will try to plot it. It will be somewhat like this. And this is for what? When VGS is greater than VT. Agree? When VGS will be greater than VT, this current, maximum current, I will be going to show it as a 15 milliamperes. And this voltage is nothing but at which it reaches to 15 milli, and that is of 2 volt. Is it visible properly? Whatever I'm trying to show you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now third case, I will consider this VGS somewhat greater than previous value. Now, if by this VGS sufficiently large as compared to VT, accumulated charge carriers also will get increased. That means the density of this form channel, it will get improved or will get increased again, and hence what we can say, its current handling capacity also will get increased. And again keep it constant, that VGS sufficiently large as compared to VT, and whenever we will going on to increase this VDS with the same step size, I will going on to observe, suppose it goes to 2.5. Okay, is it visible properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my phone call is interrupting me. Just wait, huh? Okay. So see, by increasing that VGS sufficiently large as compared to VT, the density of that form channel, it will get increased, and by that, its current handling capacity also will get increased, so that I can plot that third curve like this. Here, I will going on to show it like VGS sufficiently large as compared to VT. Okay. And last condition we'll take, that is when VGS is equals to VGS max. What is VGS max? That already I told last time. By that VGS equals to VGS max, whatever minorities are present in this substrate, all will get attracted between this drain to source region, and hence whatever the density that channel will be going to offer, it will be maximum. Am I right? Can you recall our previous discussion? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So when that VGS will be equal to VGS max, all the minorities will get attracted. The density of that form channel, it will be maximum. Beyond that, it will not be possible. And hence, by keeping it again constant, if I increase this VDS with the same step size, what will observe? Beyond 30 milli, that current may get increased to 50 milli, and later on, it may remain constant. But the constant value, it will be greater than the previous cases. And that's why I can plot that curve like this. Okay. Here, I can call this one as ID max. And what is ID max? Already we defined last time, and that was IDSS, drain to source saturated current. And this last curve, I consider that VGS as VGS max. Beyond that, current will not be possible. Am I right? So is it okay? This 15, then later how much we considered? I think it was 30, huh? 30 milli. And then ID will be ID max if it is considered as 100 milliamperes. This is just consideration. Huh? Are you getting whatever I tried to show you? Is it okay or not? Or do you have any problem with this? Just let me know, are you getting it or not? Whatever we discussed.
Yes, sir.
About the output characteristic, that is drain characteristic. Okay. So such type of characteristic you might have seen in case of BJT as well as in case of JFET. Okay. So this output characteristic, it is divided into a number of parts. See that first part where there is increase in output current with respect to increase in output voltage, this much region. This is known as what? For JFET, what is this region? Where increase in output voltage increases the output current. This region is known as what? For JFET. Okay, for BJT. Don't know. So for MOSFET, remember, the region where the increase in output voltage increases the output current is known as ohmic region. Remember this one. In case of BJT, this region is known as saturation region. Okay. Now the region where by increasing output voltage, there is no effect on current. That means current remains constant. See, for example, this point, if it is of, we can say 3 volt, in between, if it is of 2.5, and this one is, last one is, suppose 3. Okay. So the region where even if the applied voltage is increased, output voltage is increased, but the output current remains constant, is known as saturation region for FET family. Huh? It will be applicable to JFET as well as MOSFET. And the region where...
Sir, screen is not visible.
Again, not visible. Okay, so are you getting it? See, the region where the output remains constant, that region is known as saturation region. Okay? And the region where that current remains zero, whatever may be the value of output voltage, and when it occurs, when VGS is less than VT, this is known as cutoff region. Is it clear? What is saturation region, what is cutoff region, and what is ohmic region? What is ohmic region? It is the region in which by increasing the output voltage, output current also gets increased. See, or you can check for any curve. By increasing the output voltage, output current also gets increased slightly, and later on it remains constant. So the region or that linear region where current is increasing by increasing output voltage is known as a ohmic region, and later on that current remains constant. You can check for any curve, that region is known as where that output current remains zero is known as a cutoff region. So is it clear now? Or still you have any problem? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you have any problem, any doubt? See, these characteristics are very, very important. Without these two characteristics, that is transfer characteristic and output characteristic, you can't understood or you can't use this device for the applications, whatever we will be going to study later on in the next units. So it should be very clear to everyone. And that's why I'm asking, are you getting or not? Is it? Now, one more thing I would like to highlight. See, between VGS less than VT and VGS equals to VT, whatever step size of that constant current I tried to show, it is this much only, is it? Later on, VGS equals to VT and VGS greater than VT, whatever step size I shown, it is of this much. Later on, whatever step size I shown between next two, that is VGS greater than VT and VGS sufficiently greater than VT, between these two curves. And at the last, whatever step size I shown, it is maximum. Is it visible to all? Whatever step size I try to shown, it is not, we can say, with a constant level. If you have notebook, generally you people are doing what? There are already printed lines. So on each line, you are plotting one by one curve, but that is wrong. Remember, the difference between that two curves, it should not be equal, right? It indicates what? Can anybody explain it? Can anybody give the answer? No. This is known as the non-linearity of that device. The device is non-linear in nature. Whatever current will be going to increase, last time we already discussed about that transfer characteristic, and that curve was exponential in nature. Yes or no? That ID equals to K times, in bracket, I already written that equation also while studying the transfer characteristic. ID equals to what? K times, in bracket, VGS minus VT and bracket square, right? So the change in current is not linear with respect to change in voltage. And that's why we are calling it, whenever that VDS is increased, the increase in ID, it is not linear, and that's why whatever step size I tried to show here, this is not constant between two levels of ID, as it is of non-linear in nature. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we will stop here and we'll continue with the next topic from the next lecture. Okay. So just